Hi guys, welcome back. So you should have taken the time to make sure you have the correct answers there for Act 1 and make sure you submit that through Schoology. Now we're going to take a look at indirect and direct characterization. Characterization, of course, is how we learn who these characters are. And so in a drama is a little bit different because we don't have all of the description from a narrator. Excuse me. So there are two main forms of characterization that an author can use, or a playwright can use in this case. You have direct characterization, where the author or the playwright directly tells you what the character is like. So when you're reading a novel, it will actually say Brutus is honorable, Julius Caesar is ambitious, right? You know exactly what they mean. You don't have to infer anything. This doesn't happen very frequently in a drama. Okay, a drama mainly uses indirect characterization, where the playwright uses clues from the text to learn, to show who a character is. We learn who a character is as the audience. So maybe a description of the appearance of a character through the stage directions. It could be what other people say in their dialogue about the character. It could be the character's actions that we can either see on stage if we're there as an audience watching the play, or obviously through stage directions. Or it could be the character's inner thoughts and feelings, which we see through a soliloquy, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So what I want you to do is we need to figure out, well, who is Caesar? What does it actually say about who Caesar is? Okay, so I want you to choose any one of those lines, mainly from Act 1, Scene 1, or Scene 2, okay? And I want you to use indirect characterization. All right, what do these characters tell us about who Caesar is? How do they describe Caesar? So I simply want you to give me an example, just copy and paste some of the lines and then paraphrase. What does it say about Caesar? Answer that question. Who is Caesar? Okay, so we should have figured out that Marulus, one of the tribunes, says, well, Caesar is a conqueror. He didn't bring anything back to Rome, though. Flavius says he's got a large ego that needs to be brought back down to earth. He needs to have his wings plucked. Cassius says he's weak. He's not with the people. He's a giant statue that towers over fearful men. Brutus calls him a potential king. Brutus at this point is not sure whether Caesar is too ambitious or not. Casca says he's rather manipulative, that he really wants the crown and is insincere to the crowd, that he's trying to gain political power by looking humble. So those are all ways that the playwright uses indirect characterization by what other characters say about Caesar. That's how we learned who Caesar is. Okay, so now we're going to move forward here to Act 2, Scene 1. And Act 2 is called Brutus's Decision. And we have a lot more characters here. Brutus being the honorable lead conspirator. You will see that he is going to choose to be against Caesar. But we're going to find out why here in the first scene. We're also going to see his wife, Portia. You're going to find out later on here in the Act 2 study guide, you're going to see a picture of Portia and Brutus, actually a couple of them, and you're going to compare. And we're going to see some of the other conspirators. So the main questions are, what will Brutus decide, and who else do the conspirators want to kill? Okay, so our main learning target here that we're going to focus on during this lesson is to identify how a soliloquy supports the dramatic script. Okay, so Act 2, Scene 1 is going to take place in Brutus's orchard. So he's got a big house. He's got like a garden area. It's 3 a.m. And of course, we need to remember, as sometimes Shakespeare doesn't continue on with the same environment, but it is, just like the previous act, it is stormy weather. All right, there's lots of thunder and lightning, and of course, this is very portentous. It foreshadows bad things to come. And we're going to see Brutus. We're going to see Lucius, who is Brutus's assistant, and you're going to learn about Portia, who is Brutus's wife. And you're going to find out, well, Brutus can't sleep because he's got an internal conflict. Is he for or against Caesar? And Lucius is going to find a letter that is going to convince Brutus to join the conspiracy. Of course, this letter is fake. It's not really from the people. Brutus thinks it is, but these are the letters that Cassius wrote that Cinna delivered to his house, telling Brutus, you know what, we need you for your honor. All right, honor needs to be restored for Rome. We need to take out Caesar. So the conspirators then will arrive, and they also find out that they want to kill Mark Antony. Brutus doesn't want to kill Mark Antony, believes he's ineffective without Caesar, and then you'll see how Portia is worried about her husband. But we're just going to focus on the soliloquy. Okay, and we're going to try to answer this question: how does Brutus's soliloquy add to drama? So what you want to do is you want to go over to my Shakespeare, and we're going to read through Act 2, Scene 1. Okay, and actually you can just listen through this.
What? Lucius. Ho. I cannot, by the progress of the stars, give guess how near today. Lucius, I say, I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? I say. What? Lucius. Call you, my lord? Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here. I will, my lord.
All right, so that again is just showing us Lucius is Brutus's servant. It's in the middle of the night, and basically Brutus says, hey, I'm up. Get me a candle so I can see. Okay. All right, now we're going to continue, and this is his soliloquy. A soliloquy is when a character, as we talked about, is alone on stage. You can see here the stage direction says exit Lucius, right? So Lucius is not there. Brutus was the only other person there. Now he's by himself, and this is Brutus talking to the audience, sharing with you his inner thoughts. And again, we want to find out, how does this soliloquy add to the drama?
It must be by for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general. He would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant we put a sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of great power. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then lest he may, prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities. And therefore think him a serpent's egg, which hatched would as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Okay, so that's the end of his soliloquy, and your job for homework will be to finish up scene 1. But what we want to do right now is I want to give you a chance to take a break and figure out, well, how did Brutus's soliloquy add to the drama? So I want you to enter that in right now. So what you should have noticed that, number one, it portrays his internal conflict. When we think about drama, thinking about engaging with the audience, and we're thinking about building up suspense, right? And engaging the audience with lots of human interests and human emotion. So this shows you his internal conflict. He's not sure whether he should kill Caesar or not. And so it adds suspense. What will he decide, right? What will he decide to do? It engages the audience directly. He's speaking directly to the audience, and it foreshadows what is going to come. Right? He says, you know what? We need to kill him in the shell. Before, if he gets this power, Caesar could grow to be a snake. And we need to kill a snake before it gets out. We need to kill him in the shell. That's what he decides to do. Beforehand, he was a little unsure. He was saying that, well, I don't know of him to be so powerful. But when somebody gets power, then they tend to use it for mischievous reasons. So this portrays how important Brutus is to the plot as well, because without his support, the conspiracy will not work. Okay, and so this analyzes how literary form relates to and influences the meaning of the text, because this soliloquy emphasizes Brutus's importance, giving him his own place on the stage, and it shows you what he is going to do. All right. And so this also, as we've done, we've identified the soliloquy and how it adds to the dramatic script. So here's the text evidence that connects with it. As we said, portrays his internal conflict. He says it must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn him. I don't know any cause to go against him. But then he says he would be crowned. How that might change his nature. There's the question. He's giving you the question in his mind. Like if he gets power, ooh, that will change him. How will it change him though? That's what he's wondering. How does it add suspense? What will he decide? Well, he says, I have not known when his affection swayed. We're not sure at that point. And then he gives this idea of, well, he turns his back on those that brought him up, giving this ladder metaphor, by which he did ascend, that Caesar may turn his back against those that pushed him forward. And then, of course, the foreshadowing, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatch would as his kind grow mischievous and kill him in the shell. So it foreshadows that they're going to kill him. All right, so that again, we identified the soliloquy and how it added to the dramatic script. Your job then is to finish scene 1. Okay, just finish scene 1. We will go over scene 2 and talk about Calpurnia and so forth, but you're going to learn a little bit more about Portia. Okay, so when you take a look at that study guide here for scene 2, want to find the text evidence that we just went over for part of scene 1. All right, and then you'll learn about the conspirators and add that answer to the question, how does Brutus's soliloquy add to the drama? Use the text evidence. We'll get to scene 2 later, and scene 3 and scene 4. Okay, you should be able to answer this first question. What reasons does he give for killing Caesar? All right, don't worry about letter B yet. And as you scroll down, you'll be learning more about Portia and Brutus in scene 1. Okay, so we'll stop there, and we'll see you